Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about my favorite drugstore or affordable brushes. So if you want to see what those are, then just keep watching. So I feel like the majority of the time I use more affordable or drugstore brushes versus higher end brushes. There's only a couple that I use that are higher end, and that's because I received them in a BoxyCharm and I do really like them. But we're not going to talk about this today. So let's start with face brushes, and I will link everything down below. I'm going to try to actually link them in case you want to buy them. That might be very time consuming, but I will try. Alright, so let's start with face brushes. One I use every single day is by Morphe. I don't use all Morphe, but I do use a good majority. I did a video a while back where I tested out or did a review on Jacqueline's favorites from Morphe, so I did buy the whole kit, so I do have a lot of those. I'll link that video up here if you want to see it, but one of the brushes that I really loved from that collection was the E41, and it's just this massive brush that I love to do with powder, especially on my neck. I'm sweaty. So this is my favorite, like, all over powder brush for translucent powder and whatnot. Love this. For bronzing, it depends on what I want to do. So if I want a more intense bronzer, not like intense, but you know what I mean. If I want a heavier bronzer and I just want to do it really fast, really sloppy, and then I'll clean it up, I love using this brush. There actually is no name, but I threw it away. It is by BH Cosmetics, but it's by Illuminate by Ashley Tisdale. I don't know how that works, but it's on BH's website, and I actually got a kit full of them, and there's a couple other brushes in there that I like, so I'll just mention those two. There is this one, and it's just fluffy, and then this duo fiber one. So these three brushes I do use quite a bit. I use this one for blush, this one for under my eyes, and then this one for bronzer. So these are all out of the kit. It's this handle, oh, there is numbers. This one just barely has it. So this is the number 1, number 3, and number 2. Oh, I have 1, 2, and 3 right here. So these are by, like I said, Illuminate by Ashley Tisdale, but it's on BH Cosmetics website. I think they own it. I don't know how that works, but I will try finding it and linking it down below. The whole kit comes with these and these. So it does come with a lot of brushes, and I'm pretty sure it's fairly cheap. I got this because BH was having a sale that if you bought so much of their products, you got this set for free. So I did get the set for free, but I do think it's still really affordable. Like I said, I'll link it down below so you can check out the price since I don't know it off the top of my head. Okay, so moving on. I have a couple of Ecotools brushes that I love. This one is the Ecotools Precision Blush, and I've tried it for blush, and as long as it's a not so pigmented blush, I actually really do like this. It's a weird shape, like it's weird, but for some reason it's nice. But this is also good for bronzing. If you wanted to use it for a bronzer, I do use it for blush, but I use it for my less pigmented ones, because if not, whoo, this lays a lot. And then I have their airbrushed finishing duo fiber. I love this brush when I don't want too much bronzer, but I do just want to make it look really natural. I will use this for bronzer, and it just puts a light layer because it's a duo fiber. I love that for this for that. I do have some Morphe alternatives if you're wanting to do that. This brush I haven't used in a while, but when I first got it, this was the brush that I always did bronzer with. It is the Morphe R2. It looks like this. So basically it's kind of a bigger version of this from Ecotools. So if you don't want to buy this, or Ecotools is closer or easier accessible for you, you could just get this. It is different though. I'm not saying it's the same, but it's very similar this way, but this is more dense and this is more fluffy. Anyways, so that is also another good one. So for highlighting brushes, they are both Morphe. Shoot, this one's rubbed off. I'm thinking it says 3-1 in E31, but I can't tell because it's rubbed off. So I like this brush when I want some highlight, but I want it to be less intense. Like I just want it to be soft all over. I'll use this one because it is more fluffy. This one is the one that I typically use on a daily basis, and this is the M510. This is my favorite highlighting brush. Okay, so let's move on to eyes. I could show you more brushes for the face, but I feel like those are the majority of what I use frequently. So for eyes is a lot of Morphe, and I'm gonna go ahead and apologize right now if you don't want to hear about Morphe anymore, but because I got that big collection, that's the majority of what I have. I do have some others in here though, but I will tell you the ones that I use frequently, like daily almost, whenever I do eyes, which I didn't do today, these are the brushes I use. So this is the Morphe M504. This is the brush that I'm always using as the first transition shade. This is the brush I use quite frequently, like with maybe 2 or 3 colors. But this is just the huge fluffy brush, and I love also using this to go back and blend everything together. So this is my favorite brush. Like, I need more of these. So then after I go with the fluffy brush and I want to do something that's more detailed, like closer, you know, I don't care, like with this brush, I don't care, it can get all over, it can go in the lid and go to the crease and go a little bit above the crease. This is my big I don't care brush. When I want it to be a little more precise and like I know where it's going, it's this brush, and this is the M505. It's basically a fluffy brush like this, but it's more precise and kind of comes to a point. It's not an actual point, but it does come to more of a point. It's more domed, but it really helps you get like right in there where you really want it. So those are my 2 favorite. My favorite, where are you? No, there you are. Okay. My favorite under eye to blend and smoke out is the Morphe 506. I feel like it's just a duplicate of this huge big one, just in a smaller version, so it really buffs underneath really nicely. That's my favorite for that. And then for a definer, it's the Morphe E43. But I also have an Ecotools flat eyeliner that I like as well. They're very similar. This one is just a little less dense. This one's really dense. The Morphe is really dense and this one's a little less dense. So the Morphe I really like to do on the top lid, but I like this one a lot better on the lower lid just because, or the lower lash line, because it's more fluffy so it doesn't hurt, whereas this one can be almost too rough sometimes. And then for my inner corner highlight, I'm obsessed with a brush that is not Drugstore, but a brush that is very similar to it is the it's actually an eye and lip blur. I don't know how you would use this for your lip, but it's just a smaller version of this guy. So I like this, and the one I normally use, I'm not gonna mention it, but I'll show you its shape. So it's kind of similar. It's just this one is more dense and this is more fluffy. My favorite eyeliner brush to do like winged liner, which I don't do it very often, is kind of messed up because it's got some gel liquid liner in it, so it's not really. It's the Morphe M160-116, but it's just this tiny angled brush, and it looks weird right now because it's got product in it, so it's kind of pushed over. This isn't how it normally is, but that's my favorite. Oh, let's do some flat brushes. So my absolute favorite flat brush that goes across the lid is not affordable, but there are alternatives that are close to it. So this one is a good one, and it is the Morphe M124. It's smaller than the brush that I normally like. Let me show you. This is the brush that I normally like to use, so it is thinner and a little bit shorter, but it's still a really good brush. And then if you want to get even smaller to get more precise is the M213, which as you can see is even smaller. So these are my favorite for the lead. And then when it comes to like just blending that's not like big and fluffy or more precise, when it comes to blending, I don't really have a preference. I just bought a bunch, like I said, in that kit. So a couple of them that I like from that kit are the M518, the M573, and the M513. So I'm not really picky when it comes to this portion, mostly just the big and fluffy and then the more defined. So like you'll see, and I think it has a difference with, I don't know why, but the black haired ones just seem to stay together better. The white haired ones, like they seem to fray really easily and then they don't wash back to this shape very easy. Like this is where they are at. So I'm not huge on like how they are, like I'm not picky about those brushes. Oh, I forgot to mention, I don't do a nose contour very often, but when I do, I actually really like this brush for it. It's the Ecotools Angled Crease Brush. I've tried it for my crease, can't use this for my crease, but it's just an angled fluffy brush that I like really nicely for doing my nose contour because I don't want it harsh. So that's also a good choice. I think that's it. Oh, as far as the flat definer, if you're already at Morphe and you just want to get something that's a definer but not as stiff as this one, you can do the M432. So it's very similar to that Ecotools in the fact that they're both more fluffy. They're not as dense as this one. So yeah, that's all my favorite brushes. If you want me to do one on my higher end, I can. The only thing is I feel like these brushes that I just mentioned are like all the brushes I use. There is maybe 3 that are higher end that I use. So I feel like that's not really worth a video, but if you want to know what they are, I could show you other high-end ones that I have that I do use occasionally, but not very often. So that's all I have for this video. Like I said, I will try to link everything down below, but if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. That's all I have for this video, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.